As you've been wounded, madam, may I suggest you seek medical attention as soon... possible.
Here. You've done so much for us. I want you to have this. It's all I have to offer you. Certainly. It's the least I could do after all you've done.
Must be lost.
I found you! Kill them! Kill them all! Wounded! Arm hurt! Pain! No more hiding for you! It don't make me scared. Wounded! Never stop us!
Good evening, madam. What can I do for you? Nothing, I hope? I'm sorry.
to our new line of subterranean Triple S technology is Vault-Tec's convergence of the three most important parts of apocalyptic endurance: safety, and sanitation. Sleep in quiet comfort, knowing that our impenetrable vault doors can withstand a direct hit by an atomic bomb with only a projected 2% failure rate. Being underground got you down? Smile. The living sections make use of our revolutionary floor suck auto cleaner system for those darned messy kids. Never sweep again. Moms will love how our Culinator 3000 kitchen system makes cooking a breeze. Or don't be. Step into our Entertainatron room and watch the latest holotapes. Concerns about security? Our Eye on You cameras enable the Vault's leader to watch your every. Should the unlikely event arise that the planet is laid to waste, you'll feel happy knowing you. We hope you enjoyed our tour today. If you have any further questions, please take a brochure from our helpful vault.
Found you! Time to die! Ah! Can't escape me! Hey! Impossible! and die!
For as long as history has been recorded, man has had an insatiable hunger for knowledge planet as we take off for the star. Star. Planet as we stars.
Smooth moves, kid. Smooth. Hey, all right! The hero of the wasteland returns. Hey, you're the one that deserves all the thanks. You struck a major blow against tyranny. Now, GNR can be heard clear across the capital wasteland again. That'll give Eden and those muties something to think about. But before I get back to my calling, I bet you want to hear about your dad. When your dad passed through here, he and I talked for a good long time. He's a real stand-up kind of guy. He mentioned some scientific mumbo-jumbo, which didn't make sense to me, and mentioned something called Project Purity. He also said something about going to visit a Dr. Lee in Rivet City. Then he left in a hurry. Goodbye. Remember to keep us tuned in while you're out there. And watch yourself.
Almost overslept. I do the repairs around here, so if you see something that needs fixing, let me know.
Yes?
You there! What are you, some kind of lab assistant? No, you look a bit more weathered. Are you by any chance for hire? To the point! I like that. Well, as it turns out, I've misplaced some very sensitive property. How do I put this in a way you'll understand? All you know of robots are those buckets of bolts, those Mr. Handshakers and whatnot. Well, that's not all a robot can be. You see, in the Commonwealth, we've made artificial persons, synthetic humanoids, programmed to think and feel and do whatever we need. And occasionally, they get confused and wander off. Nonsense! This is a machine we're talking about. Can you enslave a generator or a water purifier? Of course not. The same principle applies. But let's get back to your mission. You are to find this missing android. I've tracked him to somewhere here in the capital wasteland. He must have done something drastic, like facial surgery and a mind wipe, or else I would have found him by now. It will be no easy task. He may not even realize he's an android. Don't upset him by talking with him. Just come get me immediately. I'll handle it. How quaint! Of course you'll be rewarded. I have at my disposal advanced technology from the Commonwealth. I'd be willing to share some of it with you. Just think, you'll be the envy of all your friends. Excellent! Locate my android, and you won't be disappointed. Here, listen to this message he sent me. He's mocking me. I swear, I'll make him pay for that. Forget everything you know about robots. Those buckets are mere children's toys compared to the real thing. Androids have fake skin and blood and are programmed to simulate human behavior, like breathing. They can even eat and digest food realistically. Like I've said, I suspect he's had facial reconstruction and possibly even a mind wipe. Search the offices of doctors or techies for android information. If he's come into contact with these people, there may be records. Start with Dr. Preston. He lives on this leaky boat. See if he knows anything. He's a doctor, after all. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm busy trying to ignore my surroundings. Of course you do.
Yes? What do you need? Look, some of us are trying to get work done here. There have been enough disruptions recently. Anybody coming through here would have to talk to Dr. Lee. Why don't you go bother her about it? He's from up north. He was bragging about how great it is up there. Yeah, great. They can't even keep tabs on their robots. Yeah, see you.
What do you want? Look, this is a restricted area. I'm tired of telling you people. It's you. My heavens, you look so much like him. You're James's daughter, aren't you? What are you doing here? You were too young to remember, and I suppose James never spoke of me. Typical. I'm Dr. Madison Lee. I worked with your parents many years ago. Now I run the science lab here in Rivet City. It was all I had left. When your mother died, your father decided to leave with you. He abandoned our work. We had no choice but to do the same. You mean you haven't? I assumed he sent you here. For that matter, aren't you supposed to be in a vault? James said he left you there. Did you? I was under the impression that's exactly the opposite of what he wanted for you. Well, you won't find him here. He's come and gone already. Your father insisted that we return to work on Project Purity. I tried telling him too much time has passed. There's no way it would work. Predictably, he refused to listen to me. He says he can prove it will work and headed off to the old lab. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. It's in the old Jefferson Memorial Building, northwest of here. Please, don't go after him. It was foolish of him to even think about going there alone. I suppose so. I worked with them for several years until your mother died, and your father decided it was time to leave. What else do you want to know? James? He was very driven, determined to change the world. Well, we all were back then, I suppose. He was focused on two things, really. Making Project Purity work, and your mother. When she died, I think he gave up. I know he wanted to keep you safe, but I think part of what he did was run away. But it seems that he never really was able to get over the idea. I'm frankly shocked that he waited all this time, and wants to try again. Yes, your mother was... well, she was a good woman. A very dedicated scientist. Your father loved her very much. It was a shame that she died. She had been excited to meet you. Complications from childbirth. None of us were expecting it. We weren't as prepared as we could have been. You have to understand, we were struggling with scavenged, derelict equipment. We did everything we could. Yes, well, I'm sorry it wasn't enough. Okay. Look, I don't want to be harsh, but I have problems of my own. I don't have the resources to support James's foolish endeavors, or your chasing after him. I'm sorry. I suppose I can spare a few stim packs. It's not much, but it might make things easier for you. What? Well, I'm not sure what there is to tell. Your father and we worked together for a long time. I think we were really on to something. But then there were complications. The project was abandoned and your father disappeared. I returned here to Rivet City and established the lab you see before you now. Project Purity, we called it. What do you want to know? It was simple, really. Fresh, clean water for everyone. Such a simple idea, and yet so impossible to realize. The plan was to build a facility that could purify all the water in the tidal basin at once. No radiation, no muck, just clear water. It just turned out to be more difficult than we anticipated. We had the basic principles down, we understood most of the science behind it, but the radiation in the area is so pervasive. Small-scale tests were fine, but anytime we tried to test the process on a larger scale, it was just too much. Maybe if we'd had more time, or better equipment. You happened. It wasn't just you. We had more problems than we could handle already, but your birth is what finally pushed it over the edge. Your father decided that you were more important than everything we'd been working for, and he left. He left all of us. Once he was gone, the Brotherhood decided we weren't worth their time anymore. Without their protection, we had to abandon the Purifier. Okay. This is the Rivet City Science Lab. It's taken many long years to put together, but we've done well for ourselves. Our work on portable fusion power and hydroponics are coming along quite nicely, if not quite according to schedule. Oh, that man doesn't have you looking for his pet android, does he? I've already told him to lay off it. He's distracting my entire team. Rivet City is one of the few bastions of civilization left in the land. We're working to rebuild our society, to make the world livable again. Good luck finding your father.
Well, quite an impressive collection, isn't it? Well, don't be shy. Have a look around. Abraham Washington's the name. Curator of this little slice of American history. Ah, a fellow scholar, I see. Each of the documents in this room tells a small but important story about the history of the United States of America. Unfortunately, the greatest prize of all is missing from the collection. In 1776, the Second Judgmental Congress got together and adopted a document drafted by none other than Thomas Jefferson himself. It was the day the United States of America earned its name and secured its place in history. This magnificent achievement took form in the Declaration of Independence. Indeed I do. Without the Declaration, the rest of these relics are almost meaningless. I must have it. Acquire the document for me, and you'll be awarded most handsomely. What do you think? Excellent! You won't regret it, I promise you. Imagine, you are taking part in another chapter of American history. I envy you. You can find the Declaration of Independence in the ruins of the National Archives. In the D.C. ruins, you'll find the National Archives, or what's left of it anyway. The building should contain the document in a protective glass case. Be careful. The place is swarming with super mutants. Here, let me pinpoint its location for you. Please ask them. After all, knowledge is power. Well, this is quite embarrassing, actually. I sent someone like yourself after the Declaration. She did some of the research for me, but now I haven't seen her in a few months. I wouldn't worry about it. Many have died for causes far less grand than what you're about to undertake. A piece of what was called parchment, sort of a thick paper, has faded handwritten writing all over it. It's no more than 2.5 feet tall and 2 feet wide. If you find it, you should be able to roll it up carefully. On July the 4th in 1776, a group calling themselves the Second Judgmental Congress got together at Fort McHenry in Maryland. After a ceremony which ended with Paul Revere singing the famous battle hymn known as the National Anthem, the document was signed. From there, it was sent to England by plane, presumably, and presented to King George himself. Thus began the Evolutionary War. Certainly. Be careful. The archives are infested with who knows what. I can't wait to add the Declaration to the Society's collection. Oh? And have you come to any conclusions? Oh, would you? Haven't run into you before. You probably wouldn't remember me anyway. I'm Mr. Lopez. Nobody does. I'm not very memorable. Don't worry, it won't be a problem for much longer.
Yes, miss.
Good to see you. Huh? Yes?
Stay away from me! What do you want? Are you one of them?
I suppose it doesn't matter if I tell you.
I used to be a slave. I saw a slaver on this ship. His name is Sister. I'm afraid he's after me. Really? Oh, thank you. Can you help me? I've been so worried with him around. I can hardly sleep at night. Thank you. I'll go to Flak and Shrapnel's just before closing. I don't have anything to give you, but I think I can trust you with a secret. If you ever go up north, there is a secret slave hideout called Temple of the Union. You might find them useful. Hello. I really hope you're not thinking of breaking into there. Evening.
Yes?
Are you okay?
Have a seat anywhere. Someone will be with you in a minute.
Hey.
Good to see you. Hey. Tamper with that, and we're going to have a problem.
let me... Is there a problem? We're the safest, most secure city in the wasteland. Nothing can get in here without our say-so. I suppose. It doesn't work like that. I'm in charge of security. Dr. Lee runs most of everything else. Bannon kinda represents the merchants. He also owns Potomac Attire. Carry on, then.
Hey there. Saint Monica bless you.
I am at your service.
This is a medical... You're in the Rivet City Clinic. I'm Dr. Preston. That old story? Well, now, I haven't heard talk of that in quite some time. It was all just a rumor, a hoax, someone's idea of a practical joke. Story was there was an android, escaped from the Commonwealth up north, from someplace called the Institute. There was a holotape that got circulated. I think I've got a copy of it. Yeah, here it is. Give it a listen. That's a man's voice. Hoax for sure. Like I said, it's a hoax. Don't bother with it. Someone sent tapes like that to pretty much every doctor in the wasteland. None of us believed it. Take care of yourself.
Everything looks okay here.
I'm looking for troublemakers if you see. Nothing I'd contact.
They call me sister. Don't ask. Are you making fun of my name? It's a damn good thing for you this place is crawling with security. Otherwise, I'd kick your ass.
Hello, ma'am.
Are you okay?
Hello. This place won't clean itself. That's my job.
Welcome to the Weatherly. Mr. Buckingham at your service. Oh, the mere 120 caps. Very good, madam. I serve Miss Vera Weatherly, proprietor of the Weatherly Hotel. Not that it's any of your business. Yes, ma'am.
Good to see you.
was so noisy last night. I could hardly sleep.
Maybe a quick fix has something that will help you sleep. Cindy's got all kinds of good chems.
I'll try them.
Time for my walk around.
Have a seat anywhere. Someone will be with you in a minute.
Welcome to Rivet City Supply.
Don't know you, don't care. Keep it short. Ain't worth the ammo. Just walk away before security hauls you away.
I've got
Welcome.
Welcome to the Weatherly Hotel. I'm your hostess, Vera Weatherly. Well, I really shouldn't tell you, but have you heard about Polly Cantelli? He's addicted to chems. His poor wife, Cindy, is at her wit's end. You haven't heard? Angela has the hots for Diego. But since he's a priest, he's been putting her off. One of these days, she's just going to jump his bones. They say Mr. Lopez is losing it. He stands on the top of the bridge tower for hours at a time, just staring out over the city. Poor dear. I know what it's like to be alone. I'd love to take him in. Don't worry. I have the means to keep him fed and healthy, but most importantly, safe. Oh, that's wonderful. If you ever wander back into Rivet City, why don't you check up on us? You're always welcome.
Hello.
I hope you found me a place to live. You really found her? Oh, thank you so much! I can't believe everything you've done for me. Most people would have kept on walking when I ran up to them screaming like I did. I'll get my stuff together and move on out there right away. Come visit me sometime.
We are the future! No! Might be mad! No! Trying hard from this always fight! I'm hurt! You're dead, human! From this! Why, you stupid humans always fight! I can hear you. No more games! Time to die! Yeah! Game's over! Here it comes! No! No more games! Time to die! Yeah! I love it! There you are! How you?
It's good evening, madam. I hope things are going well for you today, madam.
All of us here thank you for everything you've done. For us, for the Wastes. We pulled together and got you this. It's the best we could do. Please take it. With our thanks. Certainly. It's the least I could do after all you've done.
What do you need? I sure am, Missy. What have you got for me? Well, all right. Let me count out your caps. Well, back to work.
Welcome to Megaton.
You've helped me so much. It seems you saved my life. I'll never forget you. You saved my life. You saved my life.
Thirsty partner. Try Moriarty's coldest drinks in